Hello chickies, welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah and today we are doing a nice little vlog. We're going to do some sort of garden-y nature reads. So sit down, grab yourself a drink, a little snack, and let's get to reading and editing and watching things. Okay, so I am here. I'm gonna do my makeup and have a little yap to start this little vlog off. I do have my breakfast here, some porridge. I usually have like honey in it, but today we're going with brown sugar because I was feeling melancholy. No, I was feeling nostalgic for my pa, and he used to make whole oat porridge for us in the mornings. And we'd have, brown sugar with it. So, I know this is a weird way to start this video, but I'm going to actually tell you a little story. So, my pa, for some reason, I was over there helping him out to do some banking and different things. Just by myself. I had a car, of course, obviously. Anyway, so I drove my pa to the bank. And of course, they have the tellers, and then you had a little seating area where you could wait. And so we went in, and my pa, he points to the children's section, and he's like, there we go, that's your seat over there. My pa could be grumpy at times, but being the girl, I picked up on his moods a lot quicker than, say, other boys in the family. So I was always on the move doing stuff. I think I was on the good side. But I focused on all these quirks. He used to cook for us, and that was his love language, and go on walks, or, he'd bring out you an icy pole in the middle of the morning, or or have these little quips like the bank. There's your seat over there. I once wrote like a flash fiction piece that was inspired by my pa. Actually, two were, but one was because he was telling a story about his father or grandfather in the war, and so that inspired one, which I called The Trenches. And then I had, I don't know what I called it. Surely I didn't call it The Old Man. Maybe I did. Anyway, I wrote another piece inspired by him too. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit nostalgic today. I think it is because I get really nostalgic when I'm super low energy. For those new here, I have a chronic illness, and well, let's just say it's a bit debilitating. And it's a tough slog sometimes. Most of the time. Pretty much always. But fortunately, I've been blessed with a mind that is creative. Even though my body is self-combusting, I sometimes have a clear enough mind to be creative. And in general, I like fun things. So I focus on that. But there are quite a few times where I crash with the emotions, the mental fatigue of it all. And I tend to get melancholy. So recently, I did just have a weekend where a whole heap of nephews and nieces descended. Mainly 2 nieces and then a nephew. I entertained them for the majority of a Saturday, and it was fun. But they have energy that I do not have energy. So I paid for that for the last couple of days, and I am still paying for it, really. It hasn't gone away. I just decided I really need a video, so here we are, doing a little life vlog with reading. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, it's because you have a giant mirror behind you. To make myself feel a little bit more alive, I am going to continue doing my makeup. However, let's talk about the books for this vlog, since that's why we're here. Maybe you're just here for the life, but maybe you're here for the books too. Okay, so first up we have my daily read that I'm going through, which I need to do a section a day in order to finish it by the end of the month. I have 5 books left on my TBR. I've started 3 of them. I just haven't finished any of them. So, of my dailies, which I'm a couple of days behind on, is Lord of Mysteries, or online it's known as Lord of the Mysteries, but the translated work is Lord of Mysteries. They like leaving out the this. Same as Lout of Count's Family. I'm pretty sure online it's Lout of the Count's Family. So I don't know why they're so opposed to putting this in, but oh well. So yeah, we have this one, which I am halfway, or just over halfway through, so that's good. But yes, I will be reading a bit of this each day that we vlog. I also have my buddy read with my friend, and we're doing, oh my goodness, blanking. What is it? Harry Potter. We're on to the Half-Blood Prince, and I'm hoping to do a little each day so that by the weekend I've done the 5 chapters or whatever that we do each week. Except that we haven't really been on it because we've both been going through it, so we've kind of been just chatting on Saturdays instead, which I love and adore. It's like my debrief of the week, Saturday, just have a bit of fun, bit of fangirling. Anyway, so yes, Harry Potter I need to do a little bit each day. It is also an audiobook, so I can like play a game while I listen to the audiobook, which is also how we're going to tackle one of the main books that I want to tackle in this vlog, and that is Gabrielle Meyer's The Fur Trader's Lady. I have it on my Spotify hours that I can listen to that book, because I just feel like I won't get through it if I just rely on my own eyeballs. If I rely on the ebook, I fear I will not read it. So we have Gabrielle Meyer's Fur Trader's Lady. Then we have Anne of Ingleside by L.M.Montgomery that I want to tackle. I haven't started that one. And then we have the Between-Worlds B&B. And this is by Mae Baxter. So they're very like whimsical garden-y kind of things, except the Fur Trader one, which is a bit darker, and we're standing across the frontier or some part where, you know, women aren't allowed and all that jazz. I might take little breaks to watch things as well, just to give the brain a rest from reading. I'm still slowly making my way through Pursuit of Jade, but I also want to catch up on a few We Go Sixes that I haven't watched the live streams of. Or I did watch the live streams, but not once they were translated. Like, I watched them live, but not since I can understand them because of the lovely translation work. So I have my buddy reads dailies that I want to get to, but I also have, I am line editing book 2 of Umbrella series. My dedication to that has been on and off as well, because I've actually got to have brain power to edit, believe it or not. And the brain power has been about as present as my physical health. So what I'm saying is I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of different things that I'm going to be trying to do during this vlog, and whether we achieve any of it due to the state of my body depends. We had a few days of lovely sunlight, but it's kind of been a bit weak the last couple of days, and so we have been hiding indoors because it's just not strong enough to, you know, cook me the way I like. As I say, I like to be sauteed by the sun. I feel at times that I am part reptile because I love to go sit in the sun to warm up. I'm joking. I am fully human. Wink wink, nudge nudge. So for today's vlog, we're actually going to start with some audiobooks while I play some Minecraft. We're going to be doing my Harry Potter chapter of the day, and then we're going to try and get through The Fur Trader's Lady, because I have started that one. I am 16% through. So far, I'm still unsure about it. I have to look it up on Kindle, because I swear I read a bit where MC, she's only a young woman, she's going to her fiance, but I'm sure in the text it said that they hadn't seen each other since they were children. So in that case, it is a engagement through like letters, long distance. Like, they've barely seen each other since they were children, and it does feel a bit like she needs to get married, so this bloke does it. But they also say that they like love each other if they haven't seen each other for so long. I mean, sure, you can decide you are deeply in love through letters and stuff. We've seen it all the time. But if she is so in love with this other guy, it doesn't feel like it. And I just dread what might happen. Because the whole thing is that she's running away from her guardian, who is a creepy old man, and wants to marry her. But we all know why he wants to marry her. So she's running away so that he doesn't take advantage of her before they wed, but also because she doesn't want to wed him. She runs away to Canada to seek out a man who owes her fiancé a debt. And so she's like, I need you to take me across to my fiancé. And he's like, well, European women aren't allowed to cross here, so you'll have to become like my clerk and disguise yourself as a man. But the guardian man has somehow followed her and completely overrun her pretty much. So he's at exactly the same place that she is currently. And might even be trekking across the thing. Haven't found that out yet. So yeah, I'm still not sure because she does have a fiance, even if that connection isn't really connecting. And I understand it's really her only hope. And the thing is, when she arrives there, even if they don't like each other, she can't exactly be like, oh, well, I actually like this other man now, so do you mind dumping me so I can see if this bloke likes me enough to marry me? Because in the end, will he? Will they have talked about their feelings by the time the fiancé comes on scene? Probably not. So she'll be like, I can't risk admitting to my fiancé that I'm actually in love with another man because currently I have no rights as a woman and I'm pretty much on my own out here. And so she probably won't speak up. Anyway, it's going to be a mess either way. It's still a bit uncomfy with the whole she's committed to a fiancé. Not that you can't back out of a fiancé relationship, but it shouldn't be, because you've gone and fallen in love with someone else. Anyway, so that's where we're up to. We're going to do that, and then I have to get into my daily of a lot of mysteries. So, we'll see. But my makeup is done. So now we can get on with the day's events, i.e. eating the rest of my porridge before it gets frozen cold. And then go listen to some audiobooks. Okay, so update. I have pretty much built a whole base in Minecraft, but I have listened to my Harry Potter. Nothing much to say about that. I'm just kind of reading it by this point. And then, that's sunshine. And I am 56% way through The Third Trader's Lady by Gabrielle Myers. Here's the thing. Am I enjoying it? I don't know. I think I'm just vibing with it because I'm playing a game while listening to it, but I'm not exactly enjoying it, I wouldn't say. Our main character, Charlotte, she has a talent for drawing. However, she's chosen to admire the physique of the male lead through drawing him shirtless. And there's a lot of back and forth about how bonny the girl is, and then she's like, muscles, and how I want to touch those abs and everything. And we've got another man who has sworn off marriage, but at the same time he has, at this point, they have kissed, even though she does have this engagement, but again, I don't think they've seen each other for a while. By this point, I don't know whether the girl even knows that he's kind of off marriage, to be honest. So I really feel like that should be something she, brings up. Obviously we have feelings here. We need to be honest and open. Do we see this going anywhere? And in which case, we should still reserve ourselves until our other bloke shows up so that I can be honest with him and say, hey, listen, I know there was that previous written arrangement, but because then she'd have somewhere stable that she knew where she was going, but she'd also, you know, break it off with the first man first. But are they going to do that? Probably not. And here's the thing, I don't particularly love it. So it is very physical based. And then they randomly say that they admire the other qualities, but most of the time they're just like, ooh, that chest. He's like, I want to tangle my head through her hair and stuff like that. And it's just very intimate thoughts to have about someone that you know you, at this point, saying, we can't have that relationship. And it's right from the get-go, really. But then there's a lot of, you know, stealing wives and different back and forth with the Indian women, and obviously the male lead doesn't approve of that. But yeah, there's a lot of just commentary on that sort of stuff as well. And several men have approached our girl in order to, you know, take advantage of her several times. So that's another thing to just be aware of. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, but it's a story. And it's not particularly badly written. It's just for a book that's meant to be Christian. There's a lot of lusty thoughts, which they don't really challenge. So my current thoughts are they need to have a conversation and be like, okay, do we see this going anywhere? And if not, then we really need to separate. I guess when I play Minecraft next, I'm giving up on that book for the day. Like, that's enough of that reading for the rest of the day. It's currently 12:30, so it's lunchtime, so I will go partake in lunch shortly. But we have a lot of mysteries, and then I have well, you can't really see it. I don't want to give you spoilers, you know. But I am on chapter 30. Book 2 of my Umbrella series has 42 chapters, and I am on line editing chapter 30. And as I say, I just do a chapter a day. Keep things steady, keep my brain functioning so I don't exhaust it. That's the attempt anyway. It's a relatively short little chapter to edit. There might be tears. I don't think there'll be tears. I have read this chapter several times by now, so I shouldn't cry. But for now, it is lunchtime. I don't know what I'm gonna have, to be honest. I know what I feel like. I feel like a pile of like salad or vegetables. But I think I ate all my corn. I've been buying just the cobs in their husks. You cook it in the microwave for like 3.5 minutes, and then it just falls out. Bit of margarine. Love it. It's my go-to snack, actually. So I'll let you know once I've finished my Lord of Mysteries and my chapter. And then we can discuss whether we move on to Anne of Ingleside or whether we move on to the Between-Worlds B&B. Which does mean I'll have like 100 books on the go at the same time, but I'll have to recalculate how many pages I need to do a day. And then we will read today's. I got in a book in the mail, so I thought we'd open it and explore. A Lot of Count's Family. Here we go. Giant Dead Bird. A 402? No, 404. 404. Missing. It's always good to get them in. Also, I do have my lunch. Also, you can't see my eyes because it's in shadow, but I made spring rolls. Look, is it more of a snack? Yes. But I walked in, I was hungry. I'm probably over the point where I should have been eating, and spring rolls was the best option. Spring rolls were the best option that I could find. That cooked quickly, didn't take effort. I've read a couple of chapters of Lord of Mysteries as well, and I am enjoying this sunlight. Once we read and edit our dailies, I will be starting the Between-Worlds B&B, just because I did look at Anne And I was like, feel like something a bit more light-hearted, and it is a cozy fantasy, so it should be pretty light-hearted. But for now, I'm gonna eat my lunch and continue with the mystery, the Lord of the Mystery. Currently, we're having a meeting with his secret society, so we're getting some information. Come on, climb. What are you doing, boy? I have my pen, I have my ruler. It's time to attack these pages with a red pen. And then I'll escape indoors. But perhaps the cool breeze will keep me awake and alive. So, even if that sun never returns fully, I'm dedicated. Okay, dedicated. So satisfying just to I mean, does it make me feel bad because I originally wrote that little bit and now I find it unnecessary? A little, but as I say, you know, you go through drafts, you just write everything down, and then it's about refining that and asking yourself, this sentence is fine, like, I could technically leave it in, but is the flow of the chapter better just to leave it out? Like, is it important? No. Could it stay? Absolutely. But will it? Apparently not. The red pen has spoken. I have completed my chapter of line edits. I didn't cry, but it's a good chapter. Good chapter. So we have the book we're going to be tackling this afternoon. Wait, I'll quickly tell you the time. It is currently 2:42. It feels like it should be like 4 something. It's not. The Between-Worlds B&B. That's what we're going to be reading this afternoon. I might go in and like put on a show, or I don't know, make some music while I read in the lounge in the warmth, because the sun is pretty much gonna disappear behind the hill. So this is about Margot, who is bored during like summer holidays, and before she graduates and has no idea where she's going with life, she decides to check in to a lovely B&B. And by decides, I mean that she gets locked out. It sounds like it's a very fancy B&B because there's a grand library, a huge swimming pool, and an amazing breakfast. But she suspects there's magic involved. Because there's a questionable guest that she's like, you seem a bit sauce. But it is a cozy fantasy, so it has like middling ratings on Goodreads. I am hopeful that I might enjoy it. I can read the first chapter. No, the first few lines together. Chapter 1, in which Margot is bored. I was bored, and that wasn't good, because when I was bored, bad things tended to happen. So let's head inside, even though the sun's currently out. No, but are you guys okay? Current tally is that we've finished 0 books, and we've started like 3. Excuse the lighting. It actually, like I could face the sun, but my little eyes just can't deal with that today. Hopefully the wind isn't disturbing you either. Update. I didn't update you yesterday because I had my hair appointment. Then I was line editing my book and on call with my best friend for like 4 hours. And then I read... Did I read? No, I didn't read. Then oh, this is a mess. If you can't tell, I am exhausted. Because then we went out for dinner, like an early dinner. A very early dinner for my birthday. We're not even in the right month yet, but we decided we'd go out to our favourite Chinese restaurant and have dinner. It was so good. And originally I was going to take a little clip so you could see, but I was too hungry. I ate it up. It was wonderful. I'm actually going to have some leftovers for lunch today. Then I got home and I did finish my daily read of Lord of Mysteries. And then I went to bed at a reasonable hour and then had a nightmare at like 6:30. So I watched some of We Go 6 live streams until I felt so sleepy that I just... Because I had to wake myself up from that nightmare, but I really wanted more sleep. So I did just that. I woke up, watched We Go 6, so I had joy in my life. And then went back to sleep for a bit. And then I've been reading a manhwa. I'll put it up here. Hannah, you know the one. But I decided I should actually get onto my actual reads for the day and continue this vlog, even though I am ready to sleep for the next year. But then we're going out for dinner tonight with my brother and his wife, and so it's a little exhausting, not gonna lie. Anyway, so currently here I have my Lord of Mysteries, which is technically not for this vlog, but I need to do my dailies, otherwise I won't finish it by the end of the month. Gonna do my line edit chapter, and then we'll get into, probably, let's think. I could go in and do some Minecraft while I listen and finish, what's that one? The Fur Traders Lady. I'm really not enjoying that one though. I had a chat with my mum about it. And I was like, I'm not a prude, but surely, like, all this, the way the characters are talking about or thinking about each other is too lusty. Like, it's just, no. And then other topics, like, it wasn't, what was the word I came up with? None of it is edifying. And then they throw the Lord's name around and, like, prayer around. But I feel like if you're going to use prayer and the Lord in your book, like a Christian book, you should make sure that the actual work is edifying. Because sometimes it feels like they're taking it a bit in vain, you know? The Lord's name in vain. Even though I know, people struggle with sinful desires. I get it. I do too. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But at the same time, they're not really challenging those thought processes. So it kind of makes it out to be correct. But who knows? As I say, it might get better. I am 56% through. Anyway, I might continue that one while playing some Minecraft a little later. Otherwise, if I want to stay out here and the sun lasts, then I will continue reading the Between-Worlds B&B. It's interesting. It's in first person currently, and I don't particularly love the main character at this point in time. But as I say, I'm only like a chapter into it, so I'm going to give it a chance. As for Lord of Mysteries, we are into some mystery, so I want to see where it goes from here, whether they catch the culprit. I'm pretty sure we met the culprit in the previous book. We'll see if they discover, and I don't know whether they're going to beat the person, because they seem pretty high level. I have some leftovers here. I added some noodles in, just for some textural change, but just a little meal. Might eat something else, but it's a nice little entree. I have 10 chapters of editing to go, line edits, and then I'll have to do it digitally. It was a pretty good chapter for today. I do think I will go and Minecraft it up, or game, some sort of game. Who knows if it's going to be a Minecraft. I want to at least finish 2 of the books on my list for this this vlog. because I'm gonna continue filming today. Then I have Saturday and Sunday. And we'll see how much reading I actually get done. Hopefully a good amount between my daily reads and daily missions. I'm a bit tired. So that gives us roughly 4-ish hours, which should be enough if I do decide on the Fur Trader's Lady. Should be enough time to finish that up. But we'll see if I get further through and decide to DNF. We'll see. I'm one of those people that don't like DNFing books. But we'll see. We'll see. The lights just went off. Oh, you can see me. Hi, I can see you. Wow. This is a moment. Wait, the sun's gonna come out in a second. Hello, I have an update, and I am going to finish this book, The Fur Trader's Lady, by Gabrielle Meyer. However, here's the thing. I am going to finish it because I've only got an hour, like less than an hour to listen to. And we are like 76% through. So if you don't want this little spoiler, skip this bit. Our girl, obviously she's not allowed where she is, okay? She's dressed as a man. However, she then got dressed in a dress just because she wanted to dress feminine. Of course, there I am like, this is a almost life or death thing. You're not allowed here. You need to be really careful that you're not caught. And yet, she's like, oh, I just want to wear a dress promo. Let me go do that. Of course, there's no lock on the door or anything. Fortunately, only the male lead interrupted, so it was like a romantic moment, but I was like, this could easily go bad moment. And then there's a whole thing between the camps, different traders, fur traders. She discovers multiple somethings, but never tells the male lead. Anyway, she may get in trouble. She may get injured. And then she's threatened because someone finds out her secret, of course. However, she's like, okay, I can't tell the male lead about who shot me. However, there's ways around it. Because she doesn't have to mention names. She could just say, because there's a really important piece of information that the male lead really, really needs to know. And I'm like, you can keep your thing, not get threatened, but also tell him. The action, she's gonna lie, right? But I'm like, you don't have to. Well, you do lie, but you reveal it through your lies, kind of thing. And you can be sneaky about it, and it's really, really simple to do. Because I came up with it, okay? And it's frustrating, because now she's gonna lie, there's gonna be a whole thing. It's so silly. Like, she's keeping these things secret, even though she doesn't have to. She could just tell the male lead and be like, shh, but I haven't told you, wink, wink. They wouldn't know. Like, they're not currently watching her. She could just say, listen, we need to deal with this really carefully, because they need to think that I haven't told you this, because they know that I'm a woman, so we need to handle this really carefully, okay? And then tell him all the information. It doesn't need to be a secret from him. They're not currently under watch. She could inform him and be sly about it, or she could lie, but still inform him of certain details so that he could figure it out on his own. That's all it would take. So currently I am going to finish it out of pure spite, but... Alrighty, I am back. I am back at the same spot because I'm actually about to go down for a nap. Done reading for the day, I'm just gonna nap it out. So, I did finish Gabrielle Meyer's Fur Trader's Lady. After my earlier frustration, it was solved pretty quickly. What I was suspecting was gonna happen didn't really happen, so I'm glad that part of it didn't happen, because that would have been super annoying. But it was still a bit annoying because there were definitely ways around it, and really obvious ones. I don't mind if characters make mistakes and things happen because of it, as long as there's no blindingly obvious solution. And unfortunately, the solutions were blindingly obvious. So I must admit, I kept pausing because I just needed to let out my frustration through some silence. just silence it for a bit so I didn't have to listen to it. And then I went back and listened to more. So it did take me a little more time to finish. As I said, the relationship is very physical based right from early on. They go immediately into protecting each other mode when you don't really see any development of their relationship. You kind of just jump in and they're already super trusting, super reliant on each other, super... Also, if you can hear the heater, it's because it's cold. And it's just not believable, or really... I guess it's believable, but it's not... You don't really root for it. You don't really attach yourself to rooting for them either. Okay, now for the cheating aspect. Yeah, there is emotional and physical cheating. And the relationship between Charlotte and her fiancé is, as I earlier suspected, that they really had no relationship. It was just that the bloke felt like this slight attraction / I want to help her out. So they got engaged through letters in order to help her out. It's hinted that they do, but they never. My main issue came, like, that was fine until she and Reed decided they did actually like each other. At that point, rather than kissing each other, they should have had a actual conversation, about it, and then trusted that the bloke would understand, like Stephen or whatever his name was, and then had that conversation with Stephen. Because they could have had that conversation and smoothed everything out instantly, pretty much. Everything would have been solved if they'd just been honest. Honesty could have solved the whole thing from getting into, like, an unfaithful infidelity type of zone. I mean, it was all the physical stuff was, like, icky, but they had no way of her breaking it off with the other bloke in order to pursue, because it's olden times. However, as soon as they had contact that should have been solved, it wasn't, and so the cheating was there. It's a complicated one. If they had just addressed it in a different manner, would have been not crossing that line, And rather than just admit that she was in love, she had to kiss Stephen as well. So double cheating. It's just hard to root for a story when it's got these technicalities that don't sit well with me. Also, my other thing was the Christian aspect. So it is tagged as a Christian book. It's barely. It felt like the faith aspects were tagged on for the obligatory prayer and faith and Christian moments. It didn't feel like either character lived that. Really, it was just they prayed sparsely through it, and not together, just random little mentions. And then our male character had some moral fortitude because he had conviction over not being sexually immoral. So that was about it. That was the only faith. And so when it's like that, where they don't feel like they're living out their faith, they just tack it on every now and then when it's convenient, it doesn't feel Christian to me. It feels like, oh, we need to sell this to Christian audiences. Let's have some random prayer added in at these moments, and our male character isn't a sod. Anyway, I don't exactly recommend the book. I gave it a 2.5 star, mainly because the male narrator was good with his little, I believe it was Scottish accent for Reed, our male lead, but otherwise, the story itself was like a 2 star for me. It seems like people either love it with a 5 star or are like, there were issues like me, they're in agreement and give it like a 2.5. Or, DNF it. So I might try other books. We'll give it a break first, and then I'll look at the blurbs for the other books to see if it's the same thing with at least the unfaithful aspect. Anyway, so I'm going to have a little nap before I go out to dinner tonight. Obviously, you'll see none of that, but I will see you tomorrow to continue on with our nature reads. So we have Anne of Ingleside and the Between-Worlds B&B. Hello. I have once again underestimated my chronic illness and overestimated my ability to bounce back from the slightest of exertions. I am bound together with the slightest of will. I am here in body, but my body is broken, and I am in a lot of pain and a lot of just exhaustion. So I did not film yesterday. You did not see me on Saturday. You did see that I watched some cycling, some of the Tour de France, and I read some during that time. I did finish my Lord of Mysteries for the day, and I did read a little bit of our book, but my ability to focus was not there, and I truly just wanted to crash out and sleep. I don't know. I watched something, or I don't know what I did, to be honest. It's all a blur because I was that out of it. So today is Sunday. It's the final day I have to read before I'm going to just give up on this vlog. So we're going to try and finish this book in the next 3 hours. It is currently like 10 a.m. and that means we will be tackling Anne of Ingleside in the afternoon. I have started the Between-Worlds B&B. I think I gave you an update. I don't think anything really has changed other than we've met some people in the B&B. And she's like, what the heck is going on here? So I guess we'll find out what's going on in here. But I may not be clip farming much today. I may just be on the couch scrolling away. So I don't know if there's going to be many clips. I may just update you. I'll try and get some outdoor. There's nothing going on. It's an overcast day. It's cold. I'm going to be hibernating like a little bear for the entire day. Just huddled under blankets. Might put on the bull riding. You might see a clip of bull riding. It on Sundays there happens to be bull riding on the TV. So you might see that if I manage to catch it. I don't know what time it is. I just happen to catch it most weeks. Not on purpose. I just end up turning on the TV at the right time. But that's intriguing. So you might see a clip of that. But I'll let you know. I'll update you about this book as I go. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish it in 3-ish hours. We'll see. I've got to eat and stuff, so I have once again overestimated my ability to do reading vlogs. To be fair, I didn't know I was going out for dinner for 2 of the nights this week. They were kind of just dropped on me, and I was like, oh, we're going out. Okay. And they were really what took it out of me this week. So, not my fault, and I did love those dinners, but now I am suffering for that. So, to my fellow chronic pain, chronic illness girlies, I can sympathize. Alright, let's go read. As I say, you might not see much. So guys, I came out here, and what do you see? The bull riding's on. At 10 a.m. right at the start. Wow, my timing is just impeccable. Anyway, so I'm gonna watch bull riding while reading my book. And you're asking yourself, well, when did you get into bull riding, Hannah? I don't know, it's always intrigued me, and then I just keep catching it on TV, so I am now a watcher of bull riding. I cheer for whoever can get to the 8 seconds, to be honest. Any one of them. I don't have a favourite. I do have ones I don't cheer for, but I kind of just decide on a whim. So that's my Sunday entertainment. Go, little man. Alright. I think he's gonna make it. He did it! Woo! Hello! Update. I am like 60% through the book. I am not hating it at this point. I'm intrigued. I love the little sentient house. The main character is still a little bit annoying. Yeah, you don't really fully attach to her because she's a character. But we also are in a magical place, and usually all those characters are a little quirky. So I'm enjoying the inn
or the B&B currently. It's like a semi-sentient house. And I would love for our main character to realize what the inn is doing. The inn is being so helpful, or trying. The inn is trying to help her out, trying to answer her questions. It's not against her, but it's almost like she decides that the inn is against her from the very beginning, and the inn is there, like, giving her obvious clues. It's obvious to the reader. And we're 60% through, and she still hasn't realised what I'm pretty sure is pretty obvious. Her interactions with the other guests is quite fun. And look, the romance is very Insta off. He looks good kind of thing. But there are a few acts of service that make it more believable. Why Finn likes her is a different question. But they're instantly in love and instantly like, we can't do this because, different worlds. But, it's cute. It's cute and very YA. Anyway, so Margot's still trying to figure out if she has magic or not. And the house is being fun. And she just met a wizard bloke who looks a bit like Finn. So we'll have to figure out what that connection is. But yeah, I'm not hating it as much as some people do, it appears. It takes a minute to get used to the main character, that's for sure. She's not instantly likable. She's very much like a teenager. Almost a slightly selfish, but also just, like, intrigued by everything, but also a little bullheaded, but also, just very teen. It's very accurate for teenagers. Anyway, so I'm going to finish the book. Hopefully she comes to the realization that the inn is actually trying to help her out with her questions and not trying to be annoying. I am here to give you my next update. Don't know why I put on next scene. So, we have completed this little book here. I actually quite enjoyed myself. Is it the greatest book ever made? No. But once I got over the fact that our main character is 18 acting like 18, it was less annoying. And the romance is very instant and etc, etc. It is very YA. But since that's the genre it's trying to be, YA, it makes sense. It almost gave me Diana Wynne Jones's House of Many Ways, which is the third book in the House Moving Castle series. It gave me those vibes. Because I didn't love the main character in that either, I don't think. But yeah, it was the house, the inn. Honestly, it was vibes. And I love the house. The house is my favourite character. Was it the most satisfactory ending? Probably not. And as I say, it is a bit cheesy, but I gave it 4 stars in the end. I didn't mind it. It was enjoyable. It will go on my shelf. And I may peruse it when I'm feeling a YA, just whimsical, fun time. So that means we are on to Anne of Ingleside by L.M.Montgomery. And we're back with adult Anne. She now has, I think she says, 5 children, with a 6th on the way. And then I think she has, of course, 1 angel baby. But she's back at Avonlea for a bit. And so she's very whimsical. She's like, let me just enjoy this moment of reveling in my childhood and sort of admiring that nature, the same old haunts and that sort of thing. And then she's also met Diana, who's like, sure, I'll join you, which I love and adore. I did have lunch, and then I've been watching a little bit of the Olympics while I scrolled. So I don't know if we'll finish Anne by the end of this vlog, but I'll give it a crack. Maybe on Monday I'll go to my appointment, come home, and I can read while I edit, i.e. listen to an audiobook while I edit and finish the book and film that update. But I'll give it a crack this afternoon. So in this one, of course, we're following Anne. We have had mention of Gilbert's aunt, who Anne clearly doesn't like. I don't like the aunt either, and she's only been mentioned. But that's because she made comments to Anne, which has, I think, set off some self-consciousness in Anne, even though she doesn't admit to it at this point. I think it will. If she hangs around for a while, it might feed into that, and we don't want that. So I'm 8 pages in, and I will continue reading, and I shall let you know what happens or how I enjoy it. But hey, we've read 2 books this vlog, so that's an achievement for the couple of days. Hello. It's later, and I have turned into a slow reader. To be fair, I have already read most of a book today. I am 8 chapters into Anne, okay, and I am hit with tears. I've been crying, and it's not even that sad, but it is. It's giving me baby fever, which makes absolutely 0 sense, because I have no great husband, no love of my life, and that comes first. I need to be so in love before babies come along. But the kids, I just want to wrap them up in little bundles. And it's kind of reminding me of real life too. Here's the thing about the Anne books. As she gets older, I start relating to the books, the later books, so much. Obviously, I related to Anne of Green Gables, the first one, when I was a kid. And I liked the other books. I read Anne of the Island, and I used to love that when I was in my real teen. Everything is about love and finding, your lover. And now that I'm a bit older, these moments hit more. I relate to it more. So I'm just crying my little eyes out because I do happen to know the future of some of these kids, and that makes me freaking sad. Anyways, I don't know if I can handle this emotional damage for the evening. I love it, but I also hate it. I hate some of these characters. In fact, I hate so many of these characters. I am so frustrated with these characters. I despise the aunt of Gilbert, and by association, I am frustrated with Gilbert, but I'm also understanding Gilbert because Gilbert is very reminiscent of certain people in my family. And so I see similarities, and it frustrates me still, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, just want the best for you, and you're not helping yourself, Gilbert. And then it's just little stories from the kids' point of view, and they're all suffering. No, they're not. They're all so loved, but at the same time, they're all having their struggles, and I love and adore Walter. I would die for Walter. I am too emotional to read this book. I love it. I love and adore it, but at the same time, I'm emotionally not well. My little heart just hurts. That could just be my chronic illness, though. I do get a lot of chest pain when I'm ill. So it could just be the pain of the heart is my general chronic pain. But at the same time, my emotional heart is also in pain. Yeah, I may check in later tonight. Or I may not. We'll see how much of this I can emotionally handle. Hello, we're cozy up. We are outdoors because, well, the lighting's better out here. So I have an update. We're not quite halfway through, and I'm hoping to get this done. I have started editing this vlog, but I need a break for lunch, so I'm gonna read. Yeah, I'm gonna read. What I love about this, or some things that I've noticed, you might be following Anne as she goes about her discussion with the ladies of the neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you have little interruptions from the kids about just random stuff for a couple of lines, and then it goes back to their discussion. It feels like you're really there just listening in on Anne as she has these different dilemmas or little tales, and then we do go with the kids sometimes too for their little thoughts and adventures. And I love it because it's so, you feel like you're just living it. And the characters in it, it's like such a character study. They're not being annoying, but it's just the lifelike. It's not story plot dilemmas. Not the kinds you'd find in a fantasy adventure, say, but lifelike. Really realistic scenarios and little discussions, but done with a bit of whimsy. And people complain about Anne not being in this one as much, but she is, and you actually see her as a mum and how her influence has brought up with her kids, how they respond to stuff, and you can see Anne through them. And so yes, while I wouldn't say Anne is a main focus, Anne is focused enough that it's still surrounding what she's done and what she's influenced over. And so I'm loving it so far. And as I say, I love the little interruptions from the kids at random points. We're roughly halfway through. And I look forward to finishing the rest. I should be able to finish it by the end of today and get it all uploaded. So you'll see it the day after I've read it. I'm gonna go back inside because it's freezing out here, but it's lovely and fresh. It's fresh. Look, I'll flip you around. Oops. Just look at that day. I just love where I live. And I love the coolness. I do. But the coolness just gets a little bit too much sometimes. And these birds are loud. Okay, this will be the final clip. I finished Anne of Ingleside. This book has made me cry. And I think it's mainly just because I'm a little I'm probably a little on edge. Let's not cry on this video. Come on. Nothing bad happened, okay? It was just, I get hit by the relational stuff, let's be honest. I always get so emotional over family dynamics and relationships. And the children in this are such silly little darlings. They are darling little kids. But at the same time, they are so silly. Just like Anne with her mistakes. The kids are also making mistakes, but Anne is there to help guide them and comfort them when they realize their wrongdoings or little sorrows. It's so good, but so emotional. So what a way to end the vlog, eh? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can give it 5 stars because there are some bits in it where I'm just so annoyed. But as I say, the relationships are so realistic. The characteristics and the patterns are just so true to life. So true to life. And for those who watched my July TBR, and we put this on the list, you know that her big question was whether Gilbert loved her anymore. He does. He needs some help. He needs to express himself a little bit more, okay? He needs to realize that he has a very beloved wife and she needs attention sometimes. But otherwise, that man still loves him. Just like a man. If you read these books, you know what that is. It's just like a man. There were some bits, some certain things, probably accurate for the time, but a bit iffy, to do with the animals in it. Not detailed, but enough that you're like, oh. Yeah, and just some of the language at very odd times is a bit questionable as well. It's a product of its time. I managed to finish all the whimsical little books. How good is that? I'm now exhausted. Will probably take a week to recover. But at least I only have 2 books left on my list, and one is pretty much almost done reading, and the other is an audiobook which I can just listen to while I Minecraft. So I think I will finish my TBR, and maybe I should take a break after that. Just a little rest, because clearly I am emotionally unstable right now, and I need something wholesome and something light and probably away from the bookish sphere. I'll probably focus on cute and adorable stuff just to recover my soul, because clearly my body is breaking and my emotional state is going with it. It was a bit of a mixed bag, but I had fun, and that's our little vlog. Thank you for joining me in this chaotic time for me, really emotional. And so now I'm going to go edit and upload. Let me know if you love the Anne series, if you have been reading books recently, if you have also been emotional over books, because it's a tough life out there for we emotionally in tune, wonderful, slightly unhinged selves. Until next time, I wish you a happy, a joyous reading. And until then, peace.
T26